Hello everybody! Just in case it's not clear from the opening hand, this deck is called Dragon Tribal. And it is expensive, so we play the known lands first, and then we'll try and fill in the gaps as we go. Let's see, we've got green and red. I can get one of the others whenever I want. So, plains, island, or swamp. I guess we'll go get a swamp, because we don't have any island spells yet. So let's play it smart. You know, semi-smart at least. Oh, look. We made the wrong choice. There's our swamp. There's our black mana source. Well, that gives us our second red, too. We didn't need a second red. We already had a mountain. Is this going to be mono red burn? Might have 4 of these. 4 copies of that. Let's go ahead and just get rid of that now. He might have another one easy enough. Okay, that will be white mana source. And we're getting closer to where we can almost cast a spell. It's getting exciting. We'll wait for them to decide what to do. It's only my turn after all. While we're waiting, remember to like and subscribe. Whether you're old or new, if you haven't subscribed yet, this will make sure you get a little push notification every time that I publish something. I try and put out a little something every day. Sometimes I take Sundays off. Sometimes I'm out of town doing work. You got to balance the hobby with your full-time day job, yeah? But aside from losing a lot while I playtest this deck, other than that, it's been a good day. So I hope everybody else is having a good day. Alright, what do we want to do? He can pump him up, so Elder Dragon War is not going to be good. Let's just wait and see what he wants to do. He's got 3 open mana, and he's got something he can do with it. I'd rather wait and see what he does during his turn. Are you just going to attack me for 1 point? Or do you have another spell you finally want to use? Come on, do something. Do something. I clicked real fast. Oh, he's agonizing over whether to cast a spell or not. There you go. You did it. Now tap out. He did not tap out. What do I want to do? Let's try this. He's got something that holds up priority. He doesn't want to let it go, so this could be a long match. But after this, we'll show you the entire deck. Now, I should note out all of these dragon references. Misreclaimed by Gix. The reason he was up when I was looking for dragons is they mentioned the Phyrexian Dragon Engine that you can meld with. I do not have the Phyrexian Dragon Engine. But I like Mishra's powers anyway, so I included him because I feel like he's dragon adjacent. Okay, so we'll throw the Dragon Engine there into exile. And we'll be done. And we'll wait for Ben to realize. Should I tell him it's his turn? I'm done, dude. Go ahead. Uh-oh. 6 lands. We're in trouble now. He's going to hit me for 2. That's a lot of waiting for 2 points of damage. I'm going to let it happen. Oh, he's going to agonize again. While we have these pauses, let's break for station identification. You're at Tpull's Corner. I'm Travis. We usually remind you to like and subscribe only once during the video, but we have so much extra time. He did nothing again. What is wrong with this guy? What are these other cards he's hanging on to? And why is he still holding up? He's got to hit next every single time, and he's not doing it. I gave you your turn. It is mine. Thank you. Okay, let's do Agnes. Let's see. Island, swamp, or mountain. Okay, here we can finally get our island. Mono red is not normally somebody you think of roping you when they're winning. It's a little weird. Now you gotta hit me again because I'm back up to 18 life. 7 lands! He does nothing. I'm sensing a pattern. Ooh. That's Joda. Okay, Tyrant is not... The Tyrant of Care Ridges is not legendary, so... If we do this... You can save him if you cast 3 instant spells. You do not. So your guy is dead. There's... If you guys ever want to see something hilarious, there's an improv comedy group, and the troupe got to be in a competition for improv comedy on, it was probably Fox at the time, but the name of the skit is Your Husband is Dead. It's hilarious. My wife doesn't get it, but me and the kid, we laughed hilariously. We watched it a couple times. So yeah, go search out the skit, comedy skit, Your Husband is Dead. It's good for a laugh. You can put this on pause and go watch it now, or not even put this on pause, or he's roping. We're going to be here a while. Okay. A dragon, dragon's egg, or a dragon. And we lost the dragon's egg, and we lost a dragon. Oh, because it does extra damage because of mechanized warfare. That's why. That's why it got him. I was trying to add up the damage. We lost another dragon. Okay, there we go. Let's put out the 5/5. That one got exiled. We put him in exile and he went back to exile. So he's just been holding on to a bunch of damage for our creatures. He's been waiting for the creatures. Right on. Okay. It be time for Joda. He goes to the face. Because you didn't have enough to do the full 6 to Joda. He doesn't want to wait and save up a spell? Oh, you are not going to have fun with me now. Oh, don't scoop. Come on, don't scoop. I gotta do this, though. I gotta play it. Sacrifice another creature. No. We got lethal this way for sure. Monorail kept up with my land draw. We're tied. And he made good use of the spells to do good creature removal. Seismic Wave was good. It's just the type of card that I played. It just so happens that when the egg itself or a dragon dies, so we had both a dragon and the egg die at the same time, so we got both of our creatures out of exile. So his effective creature wipe just got 2 more creatures headed to him. And he still did pretty good about taking out the threats, but Joda kind of changes things as soon as you get a legendary creature out. Which is why Jetmir is particularly devastating if you pair him with Joda. But Jetmir's not a dragon, so I left him out. Okay, and Ben is just roping like he's a blue player. Okay, we'll just do this. I actually went and spent gold to go get the discounted pet because they said he was leaving. I'm a sucker for books. I like to read, although I think I need better glasses. I can't read any of that. Can you guys read that? I can't zoom in. You know, I used to have a crack editing team. I would keep chained in my basement. And they would just edit out this roping for me. It would be great. You guys can zoom ahead if you want. I gotta sit here. Oh, you know what? Maybe he doesn't realize it's his turn. Oh, there we go. My turn. Ooh, look at that. Another cool dragon. And another pause for station identification. Well, this could have been a quick match. Ben, maybe you should go make a mono blue control deck. That seems more your speed. This mechanized warfare stuff just isn't for you. Atsushi! I might be tempted to wait and see what else we could do, but he's just taking so long. Just put us out of our misery. Get on with our lives! Yeah, Joda plus Dragons is pretty devastating. I mean, Joda plus anything legendary is pretty devastating. But just the one copy of Joda. We didn't want to make it a Joda-centric deck necessarily. We wanted to make it a Dragon Tribal deck. So let's go in and show you the entire deck. And hopefully I'm enunciating my words clearly so you understand that I'm talking about my deck, D-E-C-K. Alright. Let's show you the overview first. 22 creatures, 26 lands. Average mana value is 3.9, which is kind of high. But you'll notice that with... I have 4 copies of the Dragon Kami Reborn. And that we can cast for free, basically. Right? We pay 3, we get 2 life for it. We look at the top 3 cards of our library. We exile one of them with a hatching counter on it. And the rest go on the bottom of the library. So we don't lose any cards, necessarily. The second chapter, we do the same thing. And then the third chapter, we get the egg that you see to the right, the Dragon Kami's egg. Whenever that egg dies, or a dragon I control dies, I can cast a creature spell from among the cards owned and exiled that have the hatching counters on them without paying its mana cost. So I have 2 chances to get creatures in there, in exile. And you just saw in the first match, we actually lost 2 applicable valid creatures at the same time, the egg itself and a dragon. So we got both of our creatures in exile out. So that's kind of cool. And then whenever we get Joda out and start summoning just one other legendary, we get a second legendary for free. So the cost, as a lot of my decks have a lot of expensive cards in them, I'm always trying to figure out how to play with the bigger cards. And there's usually some kind of trick I have in there so that I'm not paying the full cost. Although, if the game does last long enough, there are times when we'll get to the full cost. But here's what we got. Shivan Devastator. That's not really a 1-drop because you want to be able to play at least one extra X mana on it to get at least a 1/1 flying haste out. So it's in the 1-drop spot because the X can be 0. So the only real mandatory cost is the 1 red mana. So that's why it's counted as a 1-drop. But we would not play that as a 1-drop. Not unless we were playing like some weird Tpull Trickery kind of deck in Historic. Okay, Disenchant. Artifacts and enchantments. So there's one answer to those kind of threats there. We got 1 Fierce Retribution and 3 Go for the Throats. That's really my removal right there. It's kind of low on removal. We have 1 Goro Goro. He's legendary, so he fits with Joda, but he's a Goblin Samurai, not a dragon. However, if you have a modified creature who's attacking, you can spend 5 mana and create a red dragon spirit, so I thought that was valid enough to include. We have Jugan defends the temple, who ends up turning into a dragon spirit, and this is a good mana sink. Whenever you have extra mana, you summon a creature, you can put all that extra mana into the X and get that many +1 counters on a creature. So if you got 8 mana to spare, you put down a 4 mana creature, it's a 4/4. You pay the extra 4 with this dragon spirit out, and you got an 8/8 instead of a 4/4. It's very deadly. We have 3 Rivaz of the Claw, legendary Viashina Warlock. You can add 2 mana in any combination of colors. You can only use it to cast dragon creature spells. But once during each of your turns, you can also cast a dragon creature spell from your graveyard. So, kind of cool. You lose it, it gains whenever it comes out of your graveyard. When it dies again, you exile it. So you can't keep repeating the same creature out of your graveyard. Just one chance to do it each time. But we got 3 copies of that. We got from the Kamigawa Dragons, Coyote. You can flash him in and give another target permanent indestructible as long as Coyote's on the board. If we get 5 mana to spare 1 of each color, we can pump him up to make him an 8/8, which is cool. Moonveil Regent, 4/4 flyer. When you cast a spell, you can discard your hand. If you do, you draw a card for each of that spell's colors. When the Regent dies, deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. From Kamigawa also, Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. I only have 1 copy of him. I usually use it in my mono red burn deck. But 4/4 flying with trample. Like all of the Kamigawa dragons, when he dies, you get 2 options. You can exile the top 2 cards of your library and play them, or you get 3 treasure tokens. A lot of my mono red burn, I'm exiling the top 2 cards. In this deck, because it's so expensive and because our mana base needs 5 colors, I'm usually creating 3 treasure tokens. Dragon Whelp, 2/3 flyer. You can pump them up for 1 red mana. So we have a number of mana sinks because we're dealing with dragons, right? This fire-breathing aspect is very common among them. But if we do it 4 or more times during a particular turn, you have to sacrifice the Whelp at the end of the turn. Monoform Hellkite, 4/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to create a red dragon illusion creature token with flying and haste. So we got not just a dragon, but also a dragon illusion. It's kind of cool. The Elder Dragon War, 2 damage to each creature and opponent. Then you can discard land or discard cards and draw cards as you need for the 2nd chapter. 3rd chapter, you get a 4/4 red dragon creature. It's a token, but it's still a dragon. I think I mentioned Mishra already. Whenever you attack, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Don't have the dragon engine yet. I probably would throw it in if I got it. Okay, pardon the sound. My cat wanted me to throw him a toy. Agnus, the Dragon's Lash. Legendary Viashina Warrior. 3/3 with haste. Whenever a creature you control with haste attacks, create a tapped treasure token. This is good for my mana fixing. Sometimes I just need 1 more, any color type mana to do something. But also, if I get him down with Goro, Goro can spend red and make any creature have haste. So if I'm afraid of losing my 3/3, I could give something else haste and still get the tapped treasure token from an attack. Iowa of the Dawn Sky, another Kamigawa, flying vigilance 5/4. And when he dies, you either put 2 +1 counters on each permanent you control, or you get to look at the top 7 cards of your library, and non-land permanent cards with total mana value 4 or less go straight onto the battlefield. This one, I always want to call it a putrefying dragon. I don't know if Magic has a putrefying dragon. I should look it up. But it's actually the purifying dragon. I'll try to get it right. 4/3, whenever it attacks, 1 damage to 1 target creature defending player controls. But if it's a zombie, you get to do 2 damage. So maybe if we make an anti-zombie deck, we'll have 4 of those in there. We'll see. 2 copies of Rith Liberated Primeval. Flying Ward 2, 5/5 creature. Other dragons also have Ward 2. And then if you deal excess damage to a creature or a planeswalker for your opponent, you get to create a 4/4 red dragon creature as well. Does everybody know Jodah? We displayed Jodah in the first match. Legendary creatures get +X/+X, where the X is the number of legendary creatures you control, so Jodah buffs himself. You put just him out and he becomes a 6/6. Whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, you get to go look through your deck until you get the next one with the lesser mana value, and it goes right onto the battlefield. Carry the Swirling Sky, Flying Ward 3. When it dies, you can either mill 6 cards of your own deck and return up to 2 instant and/or sorcery cards to your hand, or you can return any number of target non-land permanents with mana value 6 or less to their owner's hands, so yours or theirs. Ragefire Hellkite, 5/3. Whenever it attacks, you can sacrifice another creature. If you do, Hellkite gets double strike until end of turn. Tyrant of Care Ridges, we like to use him. 4/5. When he enters the battlefield, deal 4 damage to any target, and you can pump him up with red mana. Zerator the Incinerator, legendary demon dragon. At the beginning of your end step, you can sacrifice another creature. When you do, it deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, and you create 3 treasure tokens. He's awesome. The Kami War, 2 copies of this. You exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Then for the second chapter, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. It could be you could return a permanent to your own hand, but either way, whether you do it to you or your opponent, then the opponent has to discard a card. The third chapter, you get Okagachi Made Manifest. You see it pictured to the right for the Dragon Spirit. An all-color flying trample dragon with 6/6. When it attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in our graveyard. It gets come back. That card comes back up into our hand, and the Dragon Spirit gets +X for power until end of turn. So if all we have is like Falaji Dragon Engine, that's mana value 8. If that's the only thing that's not land in our graveyard, it comes back up into our hand, and Okagachi turns from a 6/6 to a 14/6. So that's awesome. And finally, from Brothers of War, Falaji Dragon Engine, we can bring it out for cheap as a 1/3 for the prototype cost with flying, and it also is pumpable, right? Two generic mana to give them +1. So kind of expensive, but maybe it would be worth it. And we have a lot of, we have New Capenna Tri-lands, we've got the Dominaria United lands that count for 2 basic lands at a time, a couple of Uncharted Havens, that kind of stuff. All just to try and get to the 5 colors that we need, because some of these special dragons have 2 of the same color cost. Alright, that's the idea. It's a pretty simple idea. It's Dragon Tribal. And we're going to do another match, and we're going to see if people will stop roping us as much. Hope springs eternal. Alright. I'm going to play the tap land first. We got a swamp, we got a mountain, let's go get a forest. Didn't we already face this? It's not the same guy, though. And it's not mono red. Which probably means greater trouble for us. But I'm going to guess that they do not have a counterspell. They don't need a counterspell, they have removal. Great. It's going to be one of those type of games. Okay. Well, what do we do? We gotta do something. Can't really just sit here. Okay. I'm not going to discard my hand. Do I want to place one of these lands, or do I want to save them? I guess I should do what I can while I can. For all of that, he found a Consider. And now he gets to pump both of them up at the same time by spending that. So maybe I should have kept my Otawara so I could just throw him back up. Alright, so this will be fun. Next, you get to attack. Nope. Next two attackers. Now you attack. And get a 5/5 dragon out of it. Oh, they don't even block it. Nice. There you go. They are using a lot of cheap spells, aren't they? They're going through it. Alright, what do we want to do next? I think this guy. We'll pay the extra 2. And we'll auto pay for this guy. Next, yeah, they don't have a way to block that, do they? They've got trample, so they can do a lot of damage, but they can't trigger the egg right now. It's not even lethal. Gain 2 life. And they couldn't block the flyers. Sweet. Get the card. Get the prize. Play one more match. going so much better since I added one extra land. I only flooded out once. 62 cards, 26 lands instead of 24. The 2 extra cards are lands. And swamp. I'm going to get a swamp. I've got 2 removal cards. I want to be able to place them both by the second turn. And now we just need to not miss a land drop. Say goodnight, Gracie. We missed a land drop. We're pretty much dead, because I think we're facing werewolves, yeah? No, not the traditional werewolf deck, but there are a lot of werewolves in it. So what do we do? Yeah, let's do it. We at least keep it from flipping tonight. Even if he does have removal. If he doesn't have removal, we could be in business. Five, 4. That's legendary. That's for 3. Let's do it. If he wants to trade, we can use Rivaz to bring it back from the graveyard next turn. So he could have other removal if he pays the ward cost. He could have just a simple black mana that's 2-cost removal. And he's willing to do it. So that gets him a big hit on us. We'll just bring him back out then. Can you do it twice in a row? He can. I'm 2/3 dead. Alright, that was fun. Seriously? You're a pudwhacker. Didn't have haste, does he? Okay. You're sure coming through. Well, it's 7 lands to 4. What can I do here? I can keep it from flipping over. And I can cast Fierce Retribution. No way. Yeah, we're dead. We're exactly dead, but 4 removals when I managed to get creatures down even though we missed land drops. That's not too shabby. And I don't think it would have mattered for anything we could put down because those were all destroy spells. So, he had all the removal. When they had that much removal, there's just not much you can do. Okay, what do we got? You know, I'm going to put down the forest first because I don't have a 2-mana play anyway. Island, swamp, or mountain? Well, there's a swamp. So... Island, because we only got one of them. This is a good test for me because if I get the Dragon Kami's Egg dies, any creature that dies gets exiled instead. So that wouldn't work with him, right? So I don't want to put that... I can still cast this and start making it. I just need to get rid of the etching of Kumano before I get the egg. Okay, so Raidfire Hellkite, good. Mechanized Warfare, good. Come on, let me have my turn, buddy. You're not turning into another mono-red creep like Ben, are you? That is bad. We really wanted that to be a creature. Okay, just get rid of you then, I guess. We're going to have our mana free on our turn to cast another spell if we can. You can't destroy that enchantment. What are you playing at? As long as they don't get another etching of Kumano out, we should be good. Because we can use it to block any of his creatures. Look at Mono Red outpacing us on land again. This is messed up. And he has Natsushi. Is this a mirror match then? Because he has a Natsushi and so do I. And no land. Great. And we can't block that with the egg because the egg is landlocked. So we could do this, I guess. We've got 22 creatures. And only 4 in our hand. There we go. Really missing my white mana source right about now. Maybe I should have gone ahead and made that red because I had a red spell I could have played. Uh-oh. Of course. See, this is what happens when I say things out loud. We'll do Rith this time. I said that we can't have an Etchings of Kumano, and as long as we don't have that, we'd be good. Here. Go away. And this guy probably only had one of those in his deck, but the Wizards of the Coast Crack team that's monitoring my account and my YouTube channel said, hey, give him an extra card. Because Travis said that this is the card he doesn't want to face, so let's make sure he faces it again. Yeah, let's attack with a 0-1. That's a great idea. Oh, hey. Maybe he'll use the end of festivities. That would be great. No, just forward in my face. I need a white monosaur, please. Well, we did good with the flying last time. Now it's them who have the flyers. It's kind of weird to have a dragon tribal deck and almost every single dragon flies. And we're having trouble because we faced one flying dragon. Maybe that was a misplay on my part. I went and got the island. Although it looks like he could have killed me, you know, 2 different ways from Sunday. Let's go for one final match. Just to see if we can show off more of the deck in action. This is not one you want to take into ranked. It's a purely concept. We like dragons. We packed as many dragons as we felt we safely could into one deck. And when we get to play them, it's just awesome. Red, green, and white. So add the blue. They've got 3 colors too, at least. But they didn't put anything down, so maybe we've got time for a change. They've got extra cards as well. I haven't seen that for the sleeve before. I like that. That's kind of cool. It reminds me a tiny bit of Steve Ditko's art. Excellent. Let's start with Atsushi. This is one that when they die we get 3 treasure tokens from it, so we don't really mind if they kill it right away. Oh, we get a token too. We get a clue token. Sweet. What else are you going to do for us? Let's try that. I'll have you know these are endangered species, so you're committing a crime when you kill each one of these, Aussie Star Killer. I'm going to sick the government on you. Ooh, that's a gross kind of thing to do to us. So if we cast something, we've got to pay life. Well, why don't I just hit you for 4, and we won't cast a spell. Yeah, like those potatoes. Oh, we're going to cast a spell now. Discard the dragon. And we're going to use the clue. Come on. Why is it not activating? Wow. Something wrong with that. Oh, that's excellent. Let's wait though. We can just get rid of Painful Quandary. I'm going to lose the 5 life. Auto pay. Now we have blockers against the token, the 2 red elemental that we can trample. He didn't attack with it. Okay. Next. Kamewar. Autopay. And this is why we like it when they kill that sushi first thing. Ooh. Ooh, it's so pretty. You got a disenchant, okay. But you don't have blue, so you don't have a counterspell. You need some form of life gain. Oh, well, let's see. From a graveyard onto the battlefield. You're going to go through mine. Which one are you looking for? At Sushi? So they didn't look at my deck, though. They skipped chapter 1, so they don't know what I've got. Oh, they finally went for theirs instead. Okay. Cool. Good game. 2 damage to each creature and each opponent. And they conceded before they could even resolve. Victory is so sweet. Alright, we will go back in and show you the entire deck one more time. Some of the issue when I try and show off some of these decks is that when we win so quickly that it's like, oh, I didn't get to show you a lot of the cards. There wasn't even enough time to articulate the strategy there. What I was going to do was I was using Painful Quandary to discard some of my creature cards. I was going to play Rivaz later and use Rivaz to bring them back out of the graveyard. So, but yeah, I like having Joda in there. Agnes is really good for giving me the treasure tokens. Atsushi is really good for giving me the 3 treasure tokens because they do not ever want to let Atsushi live. And I'm not sure if they understand exactly how much I want them to kill Atsushi. And then the Dragon Kami Reborn really turned out to be... I mean, it can be a mixed bag because sometimes I get it early on, and maybe this means I'm going to be displacing land that I would have drawn, and I might run into land trouble. But it is a nice source of life gain, and getting that egg is just a 0/1 blocker on the land. A lot of times is a good... unless you know, they specifically run into a flying deck like you just saw. So that is a particular weakness. But I think I like having the 4 of these in there. It certainly fits with the concept. And I had a couple more. I had like an extra copy of Falaji Dragon Engine in here. And I had one other, the Artificer, the 6-mana Artificer card from Brothers War. But I didn't have as much removal, so I had to get a couple more Go for the Throats in there. Just because usually you need 8 to 10 removal, and here I just did 1 removal for artifacts and enchantments and 4 creature removals, and that was it. So, I mean, technically, Kamewar you could count as 2 more, but since it costs 6 mana and it costs all 5 colors, sometimes you can't even get it out, so it's hard to rely on those 2 cards to show up and for you to be able to use them in a match. But I kept Rivaz in my hand. I threw a couple of dragon cards in the graveyard that last hand, and I was just waiting so I could get rid of that enchantments, and then I could bring down Rivaz, and then I could bring back the 2 creatures I lost from the graveyard, so I could still get them back. But that saved me from losing, you know, like 10 points of life when I was trying to cast spells. And having the Dragon War cards in there, hey, it helped me clinch the deal, right? Because maybe I couldn't have gotten around that 4 or 5 lifelinker, and the game would have turned on me. So that was good timing. And I think I'll leave it there. Alright, let me know what you think of the deck. Again, as always, like and subscribe. And this is Travis signing off from Tpull's Corner saying thanks and have a good one.